Hello, Tiger fans, and welcome to this week's edition of the Tiger Women's Basketball Report. Doing this via Zoom as the CAA makes their home inside CQ Arena to get ready for the 2023 Women's Basketball Tournament. And I am joined by the head coach of the number one seeded Tigers, the co-champions of the CAA, Laura Harper. Coach, first of all, congratulations on all the success this year, finishing as co-regular season champions and earning the number one seed.
Thank you, Ben, so much. Credit again to everyone that also we share this with in Northeastern and Drexel, and most importantly, our players and our staff. We are just so excited for this. We enjoyed and sat in it, and now we're moving on to the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. You finished the regular season 19-10 overall, 13-5 in the conference, but now outside of seeding, none of that matters. Everyone's 0-0. It's you get one loss, your year's over. How do you reset the team now in terms of thinking that everything you've done, everything you've did in the regular season, it doesn't mean anything now going forward? You have to take care of business every single game day.
For sure. I think I credit them, their drive. I credit, our staff, and just making sure that they know the importance of this time, the importance of the history that they've already made and becoming, the champions that they are in the regular season. And I think it's constant reminders. It's constant just showing them and telling them and affirming all of it, just that every moment matters.
Before we get into the tournament itself, postseason accolades: Kylie Cornegay-Lucas, Defensive Player of the Year, first team all conference and all defensive team. Certainly, I think some talented opinions could have been some other folks that we would have liked to see, but just sticking with Kylie, Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, and we always talk about her offense, but her defense is so suffocating at times, and it's a well-deserved honor for Kylie.
Kylie is just, I said it today in front of the team, I've never coached a player as talented or gifted as she is. And half the time I think she's just not even trying. It comes so naturally to her. And it's great for other people to finally realize her impact of our team, and just extremely proud of her. And hopefully she's able to just propel that momentum going into the tournament.
For the players who maybe we thought, or who they themselves thought they had a chance of earning some postseason accolades, what do you tell them? How does this serve as motivation for them? And definitely don't let it be a discouragement, right? It has to be a motivation.
We definitely had a discussion as a team today, and I think I am a great example to them. I won a national championship and was most outstanding player of the Final Four and didn't make a conference team, but my senior year. And I think ultimately accolades are great and you want recognition. And I apologize to them. I truly did, because their efforts and what they were able to accomplish for this team not being showcased, it's really disheartening. I asked, I want to go back and look and see the last time a championship team, a number one overall seed, had one player on their team on any conference accolade. I bet you it's never happened before. So ultimately, if it's a popularity contest, I understand we don't have to be the unpopular vote. Well, clearly we are the unpopular vote, but I just feel for our student athletes, honestly.
Well, they get a chance to get the ultimate prize, and that is a CAA championship and an NCAA berth. Let's talk about the tournament. So you don't play until the quarterfinals. There's luxury in that, certainly, that you get to sit back. The other teams, or a handful of the other teams, have to hit the court and go to work. But is there any downsides to that, where maybe you get a little too relaxed? How do you keep the energy up and the focus up when now, okay, you're not playing games, you have to watch these for 2 rounds and then until the quarterfinals?
Well, it's a double-edged sword. I think 6 of one way, half a dozen the other. Obviously, when we've sat 2 days and the team that we're going to play, they've already dusted some of the rust off. And I told them the first game's always the hardest. That is always the hardest in any tournament that you do. So ultimately, I just need to trust that they will work through it. I think we've been through adversity before, and we know that this is our home, and we have played in this gym, and we've had success here. We've had success versus every single team in the conference. So I think for me, it's just really keeping them confident and keeping their energy up.
And then, of course, in your draw, you'll take on the winner on Wednesday. Friday, March 10th, you'll get the winner of Delaware versus Hampton. I'm sure there's no actual answer to this question. I mean, maybe there is, but I've seen coaches talk. There's no preference there, right? How do you prepare for both of those teams, and how do you stay ready for both of those teams? I'm sure it's going to be a lot of tape and obviously live scouting as well.
Of course, I think we do a phenomenal job as a staff, just kind of grouping tendencies of each team that we possibly could play the entire tournament. So with that being said, then, for example, today we were able to work on transition offense, transition defense, which you're going to see with Delaware, you're going to see with Hampton, you're going to see with A&T. Tomorrow we can work on some zone defense things that we're going to see teams zone us, so we need to work on our zone offense. We also have opportunities to zone them. So really just making sure our players are confident that whatever any team does, we have an answer for it. And that's something I really pride myself of, just trying to allow them, this is what we do. This is how we do it. We've been here before. We're game 30, right? We've had 29 other options to be slapped in the face and punched in the mouth. And what did we do? So it's really just repetition.
You mentioned earlier your experience as a player playing in the NCAA tournament, conference tournament, certainly. What's the best piece of advice you can give your team on playing with it? Because it's March. It is March Madness, truly, where we saw upsets in the men's tournament the other night. How do you keep them focused? Like, look, this number one seed means nothing. What's the best piece of advice you can give them playing in a tournament and atmosphere where you're going to get everybody's best shot now every single night?
It's challenging because I think the first best advice is, if you don't like how things have been so far, change it. You have 0-0, you have a clean slate. Anything can happen at this time of the year. So from a conscious standpoint, don't have one. Just keep playing through everything, all adversities. I think for us as a staff, however, we need to focus on taking the pressure off of them, eliminating that. This is fun. We've worked for this. And I think that's the best piece of advice for me. The energy carries you through it all. The confidence carries you through it all. I just credit Brenda so much of how she allowed us to play loose and free and fed just encouragement in us constantly. And I'm going to try my best to do the same for them.
And then kind of rewinding a little bit back in history, a few years ago when Towson won the CAA tournament, everyone obviously could talk about Melo Jeter and Nakia Mayo and Q Murray and Ryan Holder. But something that's, pretty well known is without a bench player like Danny Durjan, they don't win that tournament. Certainly we talk about Kylie, we talk about Quinn. We've been talking about Pat Anumba, who's coming off a co-player of the week performance this past week to close out the season. Who's one or two players for you that, and certainly it takes everybody, but who's one or two players where you're looking for them, like, we need them to be successful here? Kylie's going to do what she's going to do. Pat's going to do. Quinn's going to do. Who's that player that, we don't talk about very often that is going to come through, or you're looking to come through?
For sure. I just think with Peanut and Ryan, I think they're seniors. They've been here. They've also had a championship taken from them. I think it's really important. They've played here. They're local hometown girls. I'm hoping that they're able to bring it. And, as of late, we've really gone to Mariah Wilson a lot. She brings a lot of energy. Every time she comes in, something good happens. She's such a positive presence for us. And, India Johnson won a state championship multiple times in high school. So she had a great day today. She's been on the stage. She craves these moments. Our team is so balanced, and I think we have so many options and weapons. This is where it's challenging for anyone to really decide what you want to take away.
I want to stick with Peanut for a second. I think I forgot to ask you about it in the last press conference on senior day. Her passing has become arguably her greatest weapon at this point. Ryan Holder and I commented on it during the broadcast that her court vision and her ability to really thread the needle at times is maybe going underappreciated at times by people who watching who don't really notice it with her. Talk about the development from her in that and becoming a facilitator on top of being a really good scorer.
For sure. I mean, Peanut just wants to win. She's so bought into whatever she can do to help our team. She's even said, my shot's not falling. I need to try to find someone else that is. And how selfless of her to really just acknowledge whatever it takes. And even today, she's dropping dimes. I'm like, Peanut, who are you? This is so cool to see her just find whatever way possible to help this team.
All right. It is officially tournament time. It's March Madness time, and it's all right here in Towson, Maryland. We hope to see you at CQ. The Tigers will hit the floor Friday, March 10th at noon to take on the winner of Delaware and Hampton. I'll have the call for you on Flow Sports. Matt Mudeman will have the call on towsontigers.com as an audio option. Coach, always appreciate talking to you, and best of luck in the tournament.
Thank you. Go Tigers.
All right. For more news and notes on Towson women's basketball as they get going in the tournament, head over to towsontigers.com.